Sometimes one of my clients will send me a listing they're excited about. And before either of us have stepped inside, I tell them, I don't think this one's worth your Sunday afternoon. That's usually followed by a very long silence, because what they want to know is, how could I possibly know that already? Well, here's the thing. The decision is always still theirs. If they want to go see something, we'll go see it. My job isn't to tell people what to do. It's simply to help clients spend their time and eventually their money on the right apartments. So how do I get there before either of us have walked through the door? Well, that's a fair question, and the honest answer is it isn't a trick. It's a process that I've built over many years in this business. I've called Manhattan home for more than 30 years, and over that time, I've walked through hundreds of Manhattan apartments with buyers. What I want to show you today is exactly how I evaluate an apartment before it's ever been toured, and what that tells you about whether to pursue it or move on. Once you see this, you won't just know what I look for. You'll know how I think while I'm looking for it. And while avoiding the wrong showing matters almost as much as finding the right apartment. Here's what nobody tells you about listing photos. They're not information, they are marketing. A wide-angle lens can make a room look a third larger than it actually is. The right time of day can hide the fact that a bright apartment only gets light for 90 minutes a day. Staging can make a strange layout feel intentional. I'll say this plainly. A listing photo is a movie trailer. It's cut together to make you feel something. It's not built to tell you exactly what happens once you're living there. This is exactly where buyers get into trouble, falling for what a photo makes them feel before they've asked what the photo isn't showing them. A few years ago, I worked with a client relocating from Chicago, and she fell for a listing on the Upper West Side. Herringbone floors, that classic pre-war light everyone wants. Beautiful photos. Before we ever scheduled a tour, I pulled the floor plan. And the first thing I noticed was that the only two windows in the living room faced an interior air shaft, not the street. So on paper, that's a red flag. That apartment was not going to have the light that those photos suggested. And when we toured it in person, the plan told the truth and the photos hadn't. Here's why that matters. If you're falling in love with photos before you've looked at the plan, you're evaluating the marketing, not the actual apartment. So here's how I think about it. Before I ever schedule a showing, every apartment I look at gets run through 5 categories: location, building, layout, risk, and value. Location isn't just the neighborhood name on the listing, it's the specific block. Most buyers are focused on the neighborhood, but I'm focused on the block. What's the exposure? What's on the other side of that air shaft? What does the noise corridor look like at street level? Building is where I slow down the most. Co-op or condo, the financial health of the building, how the board actually operates. A perfect apartment inside a poorly run building is not a perfect apartment. I will say that again, a perfect apartment inside a poorly run building is not the perfect apartment. That's not a small distinction to me. That is a deal breaker. Layout is about flow, not size. I'm not going to talk about square footage because square footage actually does lie in Manhattan. I'd pay more for a smart layout than a bigger one every time. Risk is what could go wrong, and some of the most expensive mistakes I've seen didn't come from a bad building. They came from nobody asking one specific question before it was too late. And value is whether the price reflects the real condition of the apartment. If the price doesn't reflect the trade-offs, that's the first place I'd slow down. I've never regretted talking someone out of a bad apartment. I've only regretted the times I didn't push hard enough. That's the standard I hold every apartment to before I'll tell a client to pursue it. So why am I telling you this? Well, because if you're only evaluating on price and photos, you're missing 3 of the 5 big categories that actually determine whether the apartment works. Let me actually walk you through the way it happens in my head, not a lesson, but as a diagnosis. This is a composite scenario, not a real listing, but it's built from patterns I see constantly. Picture a pre-war 2-bedroom on the Upper East Side, priced in line with recent sales in the building. Here's what goes through my mind, roughly in order. First, where exactly is this block? A quick look at a public block and building data tells me whether I'm dealing with a quiet residential stretch or something sitting over a busy corridor. If it's the quiet stretch, that wouldn't concern me at all. If it's the corridor, I want to know that before I get attached to anything else about this apartment, and if that is okay with my client. Secondly, what is this building really? When it was built, is it a co-op or a condo? Is there any public record of financial trouble? Is the maintenance too high? This is exactly where buyers get in trouble, I can tell you. They fall in love with an apartment and never ask the single question about the building it sits inside of. Now, the floor plan itself, which is where I actually do slow down, that second bedroom only picks up light from another room, what's called a borrowed or interior window. My first question isn't, is that a problem? It's, why was this room configured this way? Sometimes that's just how the building was laid out in 1928. Sometimes it means a wall came down at some point that probably shouldn't have. And the kitchen sits directly between the 2 bedrooms. That raises a different question. What might have been changed there? A layout like this often started life as something completely different, perhaps a 3-bedroom reconfigured, a maid's room absorbed into the kitchen. None of that disqualifies the apartment on its own, but it's exactly the kind of detail that tells me what I'd want to verify before I ever schedule a showing. Here's a judgment call for you. The borrowed window in the second bedroom on its own wouldn't be a concern for me. Plenty of good apartments have one imperfect room. But paired with a kitchen wedged between 2 bedrooms, that's a pattern. And when I see a pattern like that, I want the story behind it before I let myself get attached to anything else about the apartment. I had a client a while back who nearly skipped this step entirely. She was ready to make an offer on an apartment with almost this exact configuration because the price looked right and the photos looked even better. When we actually pulled the plan together, that same pattern was sitting right there. It turned out a previous owner had combined 2 smaller units without filling out the right permits. Not a renovation problem, a 5-figure problem with the board and the city, and it would have become her problem. So she passed. A year and a half later, she closed on something where the plan made sense the first time she looked at it. She still tells people that that apartment saved her from the one before it. Value lasts. Once I know the building and the layout story, I can tell you whether the price reflects the real condition of this apartment or whether it's priced as if none of that exists. If a seller's pricing it like it's flawless, that's exactly where I slow down again. Here's how I think about it. Everything I just walked through, I did without leaving my desk. What I can't tell you from a floor plan is how it actually feels. The noise at 7 in the morning, whether the hallway smells like someone's dinner, whether the board culture is warm or a very defensive board. That's what the in-person showing is for. The plan tells me whether an apartment is worth the trip. The showing tells us whether it's worth an offer. So here's the practical takeaway. A floor plan and a handful of public facts can tell you whether an apartment is worth your Sunday afternoon. That's not luck. That is a process. Here's the truth. None of this is about being clever. It's about discipline. Every apartment I evaluate gets the same 5 questions and the same scrutiny, whether it's the first one a client sends me or the 15th that we're scheduled to see. I've never regretted talking someone out of a bad apartment. I've only regretted the times I didn't push hard enough. That's the lens I bring to every apartment you'll ever consider before either of us sets foot inside of it. Now, if you want that judgment applied to your own search, that's exactly what a strategy call is for, and the link is below in the description. And if you're not ready for that yet, start out with the cheat sheet that I created. It'll walk you through the basics of what to look for before you ever tour. Photographs sell apartments. Judgment protects the people who buy them. Again, I'm Dewey Moss. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure and subscribe and hit that notification button so that you can stay up to date on all of the videos that we're releasing, and I'll see you in the next one.